From below towering mountains and along great rivers, the flow of history reveals great historical cities and their cultural legacies. Some call this small town one of China's best-kept secrets. Cradled by verdant mountains and embraced by winding rivers, this earthly paradise has been not only a sanctuary for poets and scholars, but also a strategic stronghold that produced a number of generals and provincial commanders-in-chief. Historically, it was described as a remote settlement in a region inhabited by indigenous tribes. It was also the birthplace of one of China's greatest modern writers, Shen Congwen, who believed his hometown was captivating as its name, Fenghuang, the Phoenix. From the first day of each lunar month, the Heikou town market opens every 5 days. Here in Jiangxi Tujia and Meow Autonomous Prefecture, hand-woven bamboo baskets are ubiquitous. Sturdy, durable, and comfortable to carry on one's back, they are used to carry all manner of goods. Sometimes they can even be a mode of transportation. Since the villages are scattered across these remote hills, neighborly visits don't happen all that often. As a result, the market has become more than just a place for trade. It's a place for reunion, where people can share stories and strengthen communal bonds. Nestled in the northwest of Fenghuang County, Heikou Town is a vibrant Meow settlement, where the most authentic traditions are still kept intact. For much of China's history, the imperial courts saw this land as a distant and untamed border region. Perhaps it was this very sense of remoteness that inspired the writer Shen Congwen to name his most famous novel The Border Town, in which he depicted a simple and unspoiled small town in Jiangxi. Every year during the Dragon Boat Festival, the waters of the Tuojiang River running through Fenghuang take on a rich green hue. As the weather warms, the river comes alive for the most festive time of the year. Fenghuang has preserved the centuries-old traditions of dragon boat racing and duck catching. Hundreds of ducks are released into the river from above, instantly transforming the Tuojiang River into a natural arena. For spectators, the stilted houses along the riverbanks are the perfect vantage points to catch all the action. In Fenghuang, the local shell ducks symbolize good luck and fortune. Catching one in the heat of the competition is a testament to one's skill and good luck, a triumph that brings pride and bragging rights for an entire year. Rao Zizhuan runs a guest house by the Tuojiang River. When her parents first bought this stilt home, it was simply because they couldn't afford one in town. Now it's a prime piece of real estate worth a fortune.
那个时候完全是因为没钱买里边的房子，这里边这个江边的房子，因为常年发洪水的原因，就比较便宜。
In the past, the stilt houses were home to artisans and ordinary townsfolk. Unable to afford better housing within the town, yet needing to stay close enough for work, settling along the riverbanks was the best decision for them at the time. To build on the sloped terrain and fully utilize space, wooden stilts were added along the riverbanks and in some cases directly in the water. Suspended in midair, they look like giant egrets with their long, skinny legs submerged in the river.
沿着江边走，过桥啊。好，慢走啊，拜拜，拜拜，祝您玩得愉快。现在人们来凤凰旅游的话，他都比较喜欢住吊脚楼嘛，因为你住在这里面的话，你就是可以不用出门，你可以看到就是你想看的风景，阳台上喝喝茶呀，喝点小酒啊，都是很舒服的。
Just outside the north gate of Fenghuang ancient town runs the gentle course of the Tuojiang River. In the old days, a series of short stone piers were placed across the river to make crossing easier. Even today, people delight in using these stepping stones to get from one side to the other. Before the 20th century, only 2 river crossings spanned the Tuojiang River outside Fenghuang's walls. Further downstream from the stepping stones was the Hongqiao Bridge, built from the local red sandstone. The Hongqiao Bridge was constructed during the Ming Dynasty over 400 years ago, becoming the first true bridge to span the river. This new convenience prompted the construction of more stilt houses near the bridge, which over time would create one of Fenghuang's most iconic views. With the recent passing of the flood season, Yang Guanquan and his colleagues are carrying out routine inspections and repairs on the stilt houses.
它是在河里边，每年它要涨水，有时山水来得快，涨得急。一个是冲刷，一个是水泡的腐蚀，这个损坏的程度还是蛮大的。
这有问题不对？
没有用啊，不会玩。
生意有问题。
这木头全部腐坏掉了。 要及时更换了。
The traditional stilt houses rely entirely on mortise and tenon joints, using locally sourced Chinese fir as the primary material. The wood is naturally resistant to moisture and decay, while its straight grain makes it easy to work with. Restoration efforts aim to preserve the original character of these historic homes.
原来也许就是一根或者2根把它支撑住，但是经过那么多风雨侵蚀，你必须重新来过，来不了过怎么办呢？我就下面夹不住，把它撑起来。
那个不够长的话，再加一根了。
你不别捂着嘞。
Despite this gradual deterioration, residents would never consider abandoning their homes. Instead, they keep reinforcing their foundations with more and more stilts. Over time, a dense forest of wooden stilts begins to grow along the riverbanks. Today, Fenghuang draws countless visitors with its stunning landscapes and rich ethnic culture. However, very few know that when the town was first built, it actually functioned as a strategic military fortress.
古人选择凤凰古城，也是看中了凤凰古城拥有得天独厚的地理位置，背山临水是他们最看重的。这样进可攻，退可守。 最初的营城智慧也体现在这里。
Lin Lian, an expert from Tongji University, has spent years working in urban planning and historic city preservation. According to him, the Tuojiang River is like a natural moat protecting the city. As for the city walls, they not only served as military defenses, but also played a crucial role in flood protection. From a military standpoint, Fenghuang was built in harmony with the surrounding mountains. Since the Tuojiang River flows from the western highlands to the eastern plains, the town was strategically positioned to guard the key passage between these two regions. This meant that the landscape itself was an integral part of its defense system.
最初的城市规模没有现在那么大，随着它军事政治尤其是 经济文化作用的功能的不断的这个增强啊，那么它的这个城池就需要往外扩张啊，所以才会形成了今天在沱江南北都有城池的这样子一个格局。
From the peak of Bijia Mountain to the northwest, one has a panoramic view of the entire historic settlement. During the Qing dynasty, the town underwent further expansion as sections of the original walls were dismantled and rebuilt. The city wall was extended from the north gate up to Bijia Mountain, where the natural terrain further reinforced Fenghuang's defenses. A watchtower was stationed on the mountain to relay signals, allowing soldiers to respond swiftly to emergencies, secure key streets and passageways, and organize effective defenses. Today, Bijia Mountain has transformed into a community park where locals can gather and relax. Now, the once heavily fortified stronghold has become a place where more peaceful battles play out.
사유,
哎，
你别了，
啊，对对，
切磋一顿，
啊，这个带小，给你，
我就打过去，这样子的，我这钱我肯定是空的，是吧？空的我肯定是帮忙，过来是帮忙的，打过去，他就打我的手上，我的手我感觉我就是没用了，啊，要么他把我推倒，
对，警告，
啊，要么就把我的
这个脚有带着脚，
对。
Historically, limited farmland led to resource scarcity and, in turn, banditry. So for generations, the people here have learned how to fight and survive the worst of conditions.
我们这个苗拳啊，有12式啊，主要是前打4门，脚踩品，啊，进退的之字啊是蛇形，因为它没有那个法力扶硕那个招式啊，所以呢，打起来看起来不好看，但是呢，快准狠，往往都是那个一招制敌的。
Confined by the rugged mountain terrain, the long-style Meow fist emphasizes rapid strikes and firm steps. Even the smallest foothold is enough for a skilled fighter to launch a decisive attack.
苗拳讲究桩法低，踢腿不能太高，下盘要稳。这样的话，别人来攻击你的时候，你下盘太高的话，你就站不稳了。
22-year-old Zhang Yingping learned Meow fist from her grandfather and has been training since she was 5.
打拳要打出自己的感觉，能知道下一个动作是什么时候发劲，发劲点在哪里，然后那个动作、眼神、位置到哪个地方，都能自己知道的一清二楚。
According to legend, Meow martial arts trace their origins back to Qiu, the ancient god of war. After generations of refinement, it gradually evolved into a distinct system. Martial traditions were deeply ingrained, practiced by men, women, and even children. In the Ming dynasty, the central government constructed a vast defensive wall stretching over 190 kilometers. It began at Tingziguan Pass, on the border between Fenghuang County and Tongren in present-day Guizhou province, and extended all the way to Magpie Camp in Jishou, cutting across the entire Fenghuang region. Eventually, the Ming and Qing governments established a vast military presence along its length, replete with barracks, fortresses, watchtowers, and sentry posts. It would be later known as the Southern Great Wall. Centuries ago, Laohao Village was a military garrison. Strategically positioned on high ground with the southern Great Wall at its back, it was a formidable stronghold, easy to defend and difficult to breach. The camp's buildings were constructed using bluestone slabs quarried from the surrounding mountains. The stones were laid using the interlocking dry stack technique, which ensured structural stability and a smooth finish without the need for mortar. Many of the buildings in the camp used thin stone slabs instead of traditional tiles for roofing. These not only provided protection from the elements, but also enhanced the site's defensive capabilities. From a distance, the entire garrison blended seamlessly into the surrounding mountains. Laohao was one of the key military strongholds along the southern Great Wall. At the heart of this vast defense system stood its command center, Fenghuang Ancient Town. The name Fenghuang itself originates from a mountain along the wall. Every morning, Chen Qidi walks the length of Dongjeng Street, a habit he formed during his working years. Born and raised in Fenghuang, he's witnessed all its transformations and knows every nook and cranny throughout town.
这条街叫标云街，原来我家就住这里。在明朝嘉靖年间修建古城的时候啊，这边不是城桥吗？这边是住户吧？因为城市的主要功能是军事防御，所以他把这里修了原城墙四周，修了500间房子，每间房子都打通，里边驻兵，驻兵的防守，驻兵的数量大概在1000人左右吧。
Though long retired, Chen Qidi's passion for his work is as strong as ever. He is currently compiling material for the publication of the cultural heritage records of Fenghuang County. If you ask him, his last wish would be to preserve his hometown's history and pass its legacy on to future generations.
这个门的话呢，就是以前的当官的人走的啊。我们不叫它东门，叫深艮门。对，深艮门呢，艮字是什么意思啊？是多音字，艮呢就是太阳升起，所以就步步高升了。
The name of Shengeng Gate originates from a bit of classic Chinese poetry that mentions the moon waxing and the sun ascending to the heavens. It's meant to convey the idea of gradual fulfillment and new beginnings. Fenghuang Ancient Town was first established during the Tang Dynasty as an earthen-walled settlement. In the Ming Dynasty, it was reconstructed with stone walls and 4 gates facing each cardinal direction. The Qing Dynasty further expanded the town, building upon the Ming-era foundations to shape the Fenghuang we see today.
东门不是官道吧？官道实际上就是我们现在的省道或者是国道，主要的交通要道，就是从湖南去贵州、去云南、去四川，它的交通要道。
The Wuling Mountains, where Fenghuang is located, were once a crucial passage along the ancient salt trade route, which brought salt from the Sichuan Basin to the southwestern regions of Yunnan and Guizhou. As Fenghuang's military significance waned, the town gradually evolved into a commercial hub, becoming the center of trade and distribution in western Hunan. Merchants from across the country flocked here, seeking business opportunities. During the late Ming and early Qing, China's remote southwestern regions saw a marked uptick in development. At that time, merchants in Fenghuang pooled their funds to build the Jiangxi Guild Hall, also known as the Wanshou Temple. Similarly, Fujian merchants constructed the Tianhu Temple, while traders from Shaoyang, in present-day Hunan province, built their own Yuang Temple near the city god temple. With its dense forests, mountainous terrain, and humid climate, Fenghuang County had limited options for preserving food, so salt was rubbed into their surplus ingredients for later use. Over time, this practice evolved into a unique culinary tradition, giving rise to a variety of tangy and aromatic delicacies. One of the most iconic dishes born from this tradition is stir-fried sour pork. Small pieces of pork are coated with cornmeal and a pinch of salt, then sealed in a jar to ferment for about a week in summer or 2 weeks in winter. Fenghuang's cuisine is known for its simplicity rather than unnecessarily elaborate cooking methods. Once fermented, the sour pork just needs to be stir-fried with dried chili peppers before serving. Whether sour or spicy, each bite carries the essence of Fenghuang's way of life. The opening of the ancient Sichuan-Hunan salt trade route also brought cultural exchanges between regions. The architectural styles of Jiangnan, particularly Huai-style designs, made their way into Xiangxi and became a part of the local culture. Now in his 70s, Chen Congwen has always remained dedicated to preserving his ancestral home. The residence is a striking example of Hui-style architecture, surrounded by gable walls built with gray-blue bricks, which were called fire prevention walls. The sloped roofs on all 4 sides channel rainwater into the courtyard, a design called 4 waters returning to the hall. In Fenghuang, locals call these homes Yinzi houses.
印子屋，它就是地窖的意思，好像就是窗户在里面开，外面没有窗户。
At both ends of the fire prevention walls, craftsmen added upward curving eaves for aesthetic appeal. These features earned them another name, horsehead walls. But in Fenghuang, they were called Aushead, named after a sea turtle in Chinese mythology.
我小的时候我很好奇，我就问老人家，到凤凰古城每户人家都有那个翘脚，人家就告诉我，那不是翘脚，是鳌头，独占鳌头的意思。我们凤凰以前山高林密，都是以当兵为荣。 这样子才有出路。
As a frontier military stronghold, Fenghuang has deep-rooted martial traditions. For centuries, nearly every able-bodied man in town was enlisted in the army. Enlistment was seen as the best opportunity for young men to carve out a future for themselves and their families.
这个我们叫做祈福架，上面这个是祥云。 下面有风调雨顺，老祖宗他们都是武将出身，所以啊，每次出征之前都要到这里转动，往自己身边这样转动，祈福大家平安归来。
Centuries later, Fenghuang ancient town has carved out a new identity for itself. When writer Shen Congwen returned to his hometown, he stood atop the ancient town, surrounded by mountains, gazing at the crumbling watchtowers and barracks that had long since been converted into civilian homes. It was a much different scene from the one he remembered, but it was a welcome one, because it was an unmistakable sign that things were finally changing for the better. Over time, Fenghuang would change even more drastically, but it would never lose sight of its past or time-honored traditions. Here, the distinct Meow culture and customs have become its most recognizable symbol. Each autumn, Fenghuang hosts the Grand Silver Culture Festival of the Meow ethnic group. With a total population of 420,000, the county is home to 250,000 Meow people. In 2023 alone, Fenghuang welcomed over 18 million visitors.
哇，这张的表情多好看！
Travel photography is now the hottest industry here. By the end of 2023, over 1,000 photography studios had sprung up within the town, employing more than 10,000 people. Traditional Meow-style clothing and silver jewelry have become extremely popular with visitors and tourists.
银子的话呢，在我们祖辈传下来的寓意就是说，可以给我们身体带来一个健康。其次的话呢，它也是一个很好的美观的装饰。
In Xiangxi Tujia and Meow Autonomous Prefecture, Debang Village is renowned for its silver craftsmen. When it comes to the jewelry making process, chiseling demands the highest level of skill and concentration. At 85 years old, Long Jitang is a master of his craft, able to work on intuition alone. With decades of experience working on a highly specialized craft, it's no exaggeration to say his creations are one of a kind. Silver jewelry crafting has been in the Long family for 3 generations. Now, it's time for his 28-year-old granddaughter to learn the tricks of the trade.
因为我们是没有图案的，就是凭空自己，看到的图案想象，然后根据自己心里面那个图案去编的，所以说我觉得挺难的。
The winter months are the busiest time of the year because many young people are returning home from working in the cities, and it's the most popular time for weddings. Traditional Meow silver jewelry is an essential part of a bride's dowry. A full bridal set includes elaborate headpieces, earrings, necklaces, gown ornaments, and bracelets, weighing nearly 8 kilograms altogether. Across 3 generations, the Long family alone has crafted over 2,500 kilograms of silver jewelry. In Debang, a village of just 200 households, the trade has generated over 20 million yuan in annual revenue.
1、2、3、4。
Beyond silver jewelry and traditional attire, the Meow drum dance is also gaining in popularity, becoming a staple of large-scale performances and festival celebrations. A Meow drum dance performance typically involves 2 performers, the main drummer and dancer, and another standing off to the side, providing the rhythm. This rim click is the soul of the Meow drum dance. Much like a conductor does in an orchestra, it sets the tempo while giving a certain emotion to the music. In traditional Meow beliefs, the spirits of their ancestors rest within the drum, and every beat is a way to honor the divine and pray for their blessings.
最初呢，打苗鼓女孩子是不能参加的，现在整个社会都在进步，打苗鼓的女孩呢也就越来越多。 苗鼓也从最初的祭祀鼓转变为今天的娱乐鼓。
In the evening, the banks of the Tuojiang River come alive with dazzling neon lights, shimmering like the mythical phoenix rising from the flames. If by day, the ancient town evokes memories of distant battles, clashing swords, and smoke-filled skies, then by night, it transforms into a dream-like vision of timeless beauty. Perhaps this is the Fenghuang that people hold in their hearts, the same one Shen Congwen immortalized in his novel, just a simple, peaceful town on the banks of the Tuojiang River.